All right, welcome everyone to a very special presentation that we have today that's going to be going out on podcast, Money Motivation Podcast, as well as our Project 613 YouTube channel. Yes, all the live studio audience, you know that we have a YouTube channel. Well, you do now, but we have a really special opportunity today to be with Sarit and Sarit Shahar, who are beloved friends for many years, and actually through their family. And we're just recently met them. But Sarit is here today to share a very special story about two kidnapped Israelis, Jews, who are still currently in Gaza.
Yes.
And we're going to go through both of their stories. And first of all, just a big round of applause for being here, to the Shahar family, Sarit. Let me just tell a little background about this special family. When my family moved from Los Angeles to Chicago in 2007, there was a young grad student in getting her degree in psychology, and a student of ours from LA had happened to move to Chicago at the same time. And so she would come every week for Shabbat. And this friend of hers said, "Where do you disappear on Friday? Where do you go?" She says, I drive up to West Rogers Park. She's like, like the Orthodox there? But yeah, I go to West. She's like, "What do you do there?" I said, "I do Shabbat." She says, "You do not do Shabbat." "No way. You go every Friday." Turns out she did. And this young student said, she said, "Well, you want to go?" In the end, she went once, and then she came 7 straight weeks. And that was Jill Stern, now Jill Shahar, was Elon's wife, and really became part of our family. And the whole Stern family, really, it's like such a warm family connection. And then when we heard that Carney was coming, we were so excited. And then we have this beautiful opportunity. So really, I consider this a family program today, and so without any further ado, we're gonna start about 2 of the kidnapped Jews, Israelis. The first is Alon Ohel, and the second one is Romi Gonen. So, Sarit, the floor is yours, and now tell us a little bit about Alon, and then we'll go from there. We'll figure it out.
Okay. So first, I met Alon when I came to live in the north of Israel. I was living before in the middle of Israel, how do you call it, around Tel Aviv, and I moved on 2008 to the north, to Kfar Vodim, and I met Alon's mother in my school where I'm working. I'm a Bible teacher. I'm a vice principal.
You do a good job at vice president also, I'm sure. I would vote for you for that.
Okay, we'll wait for that. And I met Edith. She is Alon's mother, and become a friend, a very good friend. She is a lovely person, art person, and I met Alon as her son. And with the time, Alon grew up. I met him again, through the years. Alon has parents, Edith and Kobe. He is the oldest. He got Ronen as a brother, and his sister, the youngest in the family, she's in Bar. Carl used to do a babysit on in Bar.
Really?
Sometimes when Edith. She was a baby, and Carney came, and Edith came to visit us, and I talked with Edith, and Carney took in Bar and make a babysit, and it was nice. And on the October 7th, we got a call from my principal, and she said, "Sarit, listen, Alon, Edith's son, was in the Nova Festival. He is a musician. He is a pianist, and he's a very intelligent musician. He needed to start to be in the University of Music in Israel this year. No, in 2023, last year. And she said he went to the festival with his friends. There was 5 friends from the north going to the festival, and they start enjoy the music.
So he got there. So Alon came. He was one of 5 friends.
Mm-hmm.
There were three guys and 2 girls. You said,
Right, yes.
And so they got there in the morning. The morning.
They got it. Yeah, they got it. They leave the north something in the middle of the night, and they got here an hour.
5:30.
Yeah, about 5:30. Yeah, 1 hour before the shooting began.
Before the attack.
Yeah, before the attack. And in the attack time, they ran away and look after a shelter. They came to a shelter that, if you saw something about it, you saw this place. They get into the shelter, and the shelter is something very, very small. Regular 20 person, it's too crowded. It's too crowded to be there. There was more than that.
Right. And just to explain, just because Americans, it's hard to imagine. In downtown Chicago, maybe in certain parts you need a shelter, but especially in the South, there were rockets since 2010 coming regularly, and so the bus stops by them actually doubled in many ways as a bomb shelter on the side of the road.
Right.
So there are playgrounds in Sderot, which is a town very close to Gaza. All the playgrounds, you see like the worm in the middle of the playground, but it's actually concrete, and so that the children, if there's a bomb alert, can go in. So it's part of the whole, sadly, in the South, of the culture. So they were hiding in there, and how many people were in there?
I don't know exactly the number. It's very crowded, and there was in the first they could become a little bit, and then more and more run away from because as you say, in the South it was like the regular life. It's crazy, but that's life in the South of Israel was for the 20 years ago, and when it's rocket comes, so you get into the shelter waiting for a few minutes, and then you go back to do whatever you did, to dance or to work or whatever. And they thought that's the same things. So they get inside, but the rocket didn't stop. It was a rain of rocket, they said, the survivors said. And they get more and more people come. They get inside as much as they can. They start to sit on top of each other. So
Wow.
Alon was there. And Alon get inside with his friend to this shelter. And he was there also with Hirsch, as you probably heard about Hirsch, and also with Aner. He was there. There's 2
Right.
young
Hirsch
person.
Goldberg Polin sadly was murdered in captivity, but his mothers and parents are from Chicago, so they actually are very, very vocal and very, very special people. So that story. So he was with. That's a famous video of all the videos that went viral.
Right.
They were taken together. There's an awful video of, you could see them just dragging them on the floor by their hair, by their clothes.
Yeah.
And the one that was put in the flatbed of the truck, that was Elon.
That was Alon, yeah. Wow. So when they came, the terrorists, they first tried to kill them when they are inside with their throw rimon.
Yeah, grenades.
Grenades inside, and Aner took all those grenades with his hand and took it out. Right, and in the end, they shoot, and one of the grenades was exploded, and a lot of people died there. So they came and took Alon and took also Hirsch and another 2 people and put them in the truck, and you can see that on the web. And Alon's friend, one of them, she was working on the TV in Israel, and she recorded all the time when she was in the shelter. She recorded, and after that she was shooting, and she died. But the phone continued to record what happened there. So now we are in Israel, saw at the TV show what happened there. But
Right.
it took time. We didn't see it in the beginning.
Right. So they made a movie out of the recording
Yeah,
of this, and it's incredibly powerful. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen parts of it.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing to
It's-
see that and to hear what happened there and what they say to each other and how they try to relax and how they say, okay, be strong, it will over. The army will come and it will be over. And they believed that the army is all in the way. They are coming and save us. And that's a different thing. I don't know
different
about
story,
army,
right?
so I will talk about Alon. And Alon was kidnapped there. His friend, the one who recorded, died. Another friend died there, and two friends, a girl and a boy, they was injured, and they survived. But the boy was so injured, the terrorists thought that he was dead because he lost his conscience. And but he saw the kidnapped, and he told the family that Alon was okay. He was standing, he was walking, he tried to fight with the terrorists. It didn't come. They couldn't take him by easily.
Right.
But in the end they kidnapped him, and since then we don't know anything about Alon. We don't know where is he, what happened to him. The only thing we know, he was separate from Hirsch. As you said, Hirsch sadly died there. They killed him, and with another people there was 6 there together. So we know they were separate. But where is Alon? What happened with him? We don't know. We believe he's alive. We believe that we need to continue to talk about him and to tell the story about Alon and to say how much is important right away that he will return back home to his family.
Yeah.
And I want to say that since the beginning, first we didn't know anything about Alon. On October 17, I went to Edith's house with my friends, and we didn't know for almost a week what happened with Alon, if he was kidnapped, if he died, because there was so many people died there and nobody know who are they. So it took time to.
So Sarit, tell us, and now you have an inside story perspective of Edith
Yeah.
and the family. I mean, anyone who's a parent, anyone who's a part of a family, this is what's so heart-wrenching, especially as Jews. Family is so central to who we are. It's the molecular unit of the Jewish people. We went out of Egypt as a family. That's each family. The parents, what is their life initially? I know there's initiative that they've done. I want you to explain, but just initially, not knowing where he was for a week, and then further on, 450 something days now, nothing from the Red Cross, nothing from the UN, not having any information. So if you could be their microphone for them, what's going on with them?
Okay, so since October 17, Edith, she put a paper on the door, and it was written, and it's still there. When you came inside this house, you have to be
Positive,
happy and positive,
Wow.
and came inside with smile. This
Wow.
is Alon's family. And since then, they do things, good things, and they say this family, if you do a good things and you pass
A
it
good
for-
deed. A good deed, they say.
A good deed?
A good deed, yeah, and a positive action, yeah.
Okay, if you do a positive action, so it's bring.
It gets you closer. It
Yeah.
you can sense it and you can feel it. And
Connect you to Elon through the power of a good deed.
Yeah.
It's such a Jewish idea. It's
Yeah.
such a powerful idea.
Yes, and they do a lot of things. And one of the things that they do, it's those pins that
Yeah, we both have.
Yeah, that we both have. and it became as a zug, a couple,
A pair, yeah.
a pair. And when you want to do, it's a good thing. It can be to say hello to somebody, and it can be a big thing. It depends on the person. And I felt that we talked, and Connie connect between us, and I say, Rabbi, I want to talk to people to say the story, and you said, I will do everything. It's not a good time because everybody is around, go to
Vacation,
travel
right,
to
yeah.
vacation, but I will do, and here we are, so thank you, and thank you. So I thank you. With Alon Pins, we said, Alon, you are not alone, and this is one of the things, and if each one of you go with this pain, and somebody will ask you, what is that? And you will talk about Alon, so it will bring a power to Alon.
Right.
And
It
also,
continues the story, and it's actually really special. So the giver of the good deed will give it to the person who's receiving it, and then tell just a short idea about Alon, and it's a way to connect and keep the memory alive. And this is really, we were talking before, a lot of our participants and us in America, we haven't heard the personal side, which is why your story is so important. And this is like a little reminder. I thought a very beautiful thing. So so Idit, Alon's mother, is American originally, right? She grew up.
she grew up in America. I think she was born in Israel, but
Born in Israel.
she was
So
little.
it's a play on the English and the Hebrew. Alon, which is the Hebrew name, is not alone,
That's right.
which is very special.
And before those pins, she did another thing. Alon, as I told you, is a pianist and is a very intelligent a musician. And she took with donation.
Okay, you're great.
She took a piano and put it in the middle of Tel Aviv in the square.
A yellow piano, or is it
yellow,
just
yeah.
become just
Can
again
you
for
put
people who aren't necessarily in touch? The yellow color has become the symbol
That's right.
of the those who have been kidnapped.
Yeah, and she put in the middle of the square in Tel Aviv this piano, and everyone can come there to play. If you doesn't know to play, you don't know to play, but you play something. Everybody knows to do like that, and you do it, and you take a picture, and you put it in your Instagram, you put it in the web, wherever you are, and it's become for more and more, and people know Alon and his music and about him. And now we have this piano we have in Tel Aviv, we have it in few places in Israel, we have it in here in America, we have it in Europe. In
you were saying different cities around the world. It's very
yes,
special.
and this piano also go for a month. It was in
Traveling
Berlin,
exhibits.
Wow. Travel around all over just
Wow.
to talk about Alon and the family, the kochot, the power, the strength. Yeah, they have from all those good things they are doing about that, and pray all the time. We are praying for them to come
It's
back.
so special, you know, the heart of a Jew, wherever he or she is. Can you imagine that? I just can't even imagine this. Right? Your son is kidnapped, and she puts a sign on the door. Only a positive 3,300 and all these years of being Jewish and surviving all the worst things. You walk through this door, you have a smile.
You need to smile. Yeah.
Right?
You need to
work
hard and
in the winter when when the heat in my car doesn't heat up quick enough. I'm like, and then here she is in the family. I just think it's such a Jewish response. Whatever negativity comes in, we push out positivity in this the mitzvah, this doing good deeds, the prayer. So I want to switch now to Romi, and please.
Okay, Romi, our Romi, as you see, she's smiling. And Romi always smile. I know Romi since she was 12 years old. And
How old is Romi now?
23.
So 23. So she's the age of any of our young professionals, and Alon was also 23.
Also, yeah, he was the 23, and I know her. She came. She used to be my student. She came to the junior high,
Yeah.
and I was her teacher, and I was her. I don't know how do you call it in
Counselor,
English, but
advisor, yeah.
some kind of, and she was smiling all the time. It doesn't matter what she's done. She was in the class. She was outside with her friend. She always smiled. She always smiled, this girl, and she has a big smile. And she was a dancer. As I told you, Nova was for a dancer, for musicians, and she was a dancer. She was a talented dancer.
Right.
And she was there. She knew the first time she met the Nova when she was traveling. People in Israel, especially young people, like to travel after the army service. In the army, she was like a nurse, a paramedic. She was a paramedic. And then she met there her friend, a very good friend, then become since then Gaia Khalifa. And Gaia and he and Romi was together all their service in the army, and then they flew together to South America, traveling, and met this Nova festival there. And when they came back to Israel, they heard about the Nova coming, so okay, that's where we are going to be. And they went to this festival and was dancing, and on 6:28 in the morning, there was the last picture of Romi was smiling and happy and dancing, and one minute. 1 minute after, on 6:29, the rockets start. And in the first, they thought, okay, we are running to the shelter. We are having shelters there, and it will over. And she called to her older sister, Yarden, and she said, Yarden, we are here. There's rocket. It will over, And she always do jokes. For everything she do jokes. And she said, okay, Yarden, it will over, we are okay. And then it didn't over. And she said, Yarden, it's like a rain. It's not stop. I don't know what is it. And then they heard the shooting, and they start running. And Yarden all the time with her on the phone and say, okay,
so
go
she's
there,
on the
go
phone
there.
with her sister while this is happening.
Yeah, she was the phone when it's happening. And after a few minutes or even more time, she said, okay, I have to hang up, and I'm running, and I can't talk. And she ran away, and then she called to her father. It was 7 o'clock and 10 minutes.
7:10, yeah.
And she called to her father, Eitan, and he said, and he told him, and he said, where are you? Because you have to know, those festival doesn't say where are going to be. They say it will be in Israel, it will be somewhere, you need to buy a ticket, and then the same day they tell you where is it.
Wow.
So he didn't know even where is it, and where is it, Be'eri, near to Be'eri, where is it? He doesn't know. So she told him, and she said, there's a lot of records, and Daddy, there is also shooting. They start to hear the shooting. And he said, run away from there. Get into the car and get through to Israel, to Tel Aviv, to
Right. Get out of there.
to the north, from the north, from Kfar Vodim, get away. And she and the Gaia start to run to the car, and they didn't know where is the car because it was so mess there. Found the car, get inside the car, start to drive. I don't know why. They stopped the car and get out of the car and run away through the bushes. And you have to know, in Israel, when you say forest, it's like a background of your house. This is a forest in Israel. So, and in the south, you say bushes. It's something like that. It's not really something you can hide there. And they ran away to the bushes to hide, because you have nothing to do there.
It's literally the desert, little bramble bushes are. Wow.
That's right. So they ran away there, they hide, and they heard the terrorists come close. So they ran away from bush to bush. Somewhere they get into a car, a person on 8 o'clock and 10 minutes, they get into a car that a young boy said, come into, I will take you. I'm in the military, I'm an officer in the Israel army, come to my car, I will take you out. And they start to go and get into the car, and then she called to Yarden, and he said, Yarden, we are in the car, we are okay, don't worry, we are coming home. And Yarden said, okay, they are okay, and closed the phone.
Wow.
And on 10:15, she called to her mom.
At 10:15 or 8:15?
10:15.
10:15.
Almost 2 hours after.
Okay.
She called to her mom and she said, listen, this person he got a phone and he said, they told him from the army, you have to be here and here, so he couldn't take them to Tel Aviv, or he needed to stay in the south. So they get out of this car and start to look after their own car, and they couldn't find their own car. And then somebody came. His name is Ben Shimoni. He's an angel in Israel. We said he's an angel. This is, if you say something about tzaddik, in Hebrew we say tzaddik.
A righteous person.
So this is the man. And why? He's a young person. He was there, and he heard old racket. He got into his car, and he took people. He got people he doesn't know even, and took them to home. He ran away from Be'er Sheva, which is 1 hour from there. He took them to places safe, no terrorists, and returned back to take another people. He did it 7 times. Ran away, and he could save himself, and he didn't. He go back to take people. And the last time he came into this place, he took Romi, he took Gaia, and he took another person. His name is Ofir Tzarfati, and put him in the car. Called, come to my car. Ofir Tzarfati was with his girlfriend, and he ran away with her and get into a car. But there wasn't another place. You have to know, people came taking the car. 5 people you can put in the regular car. They took 10. They took 12 because one on each other, and the trunk, and they took them there just to run away from this place. And he took them, 3 of them, and said, come, I will save you. But somewhere, and then she called to her mom, and she said, don't worry, mom, we are here. But Ben Shimoni, she didn't know the name. She said, someone, the driver, now we know his name. And she said, the driver take us, and don't worry, he saved few people. He knows what to do. And they traveled. But the terrorist, Imach Shimon, we said in Hebrew, I don't know in English.
Their names should be wiped out.
That's it. Shoot at them, and they killed the driver. And she said, and all the time she with Merav, the mother, and she said, Mom, they are shooting at us, and I think the driver is dead, and Gaia was hurt. I don't know if she's alive or not. And she tried to, to know the pulse.
You feel her pulse?
To feel the pulse, and she put the hand like that, and they shot her here, and Romi was shot, and she said, Gaia is dead, the driver is dead, the other person is injured, and I'm very injured. If somebody won't come to take us, we will be died in a few minutes. And the mother, if you hear that, you can hear it on the web, you can hear, she said she was calm. I don't know from where all this
inner strength.
Yeah, and she said, Romi, you are okay. You will be okay. Everything will be okay. Don't worry. Breathe and be healthy and be good and be strong. And the mother Merav said, the only thing I could do is to be there for her, because all the time she said, I'm alone. I can't do anything. I'm alone. And she said, you are not alone. We are with me. And we'll be okay, and the army will come. And then she heard the mother, the Arabs come, the terrorists, and took in Arab, and talking Arabs, and kidnapped Romi, and kidnapped the other person was there is Ofir Tzarfati, and took them to Gaza. But they heard words talking in Arabic, and the phone hang up. And that's the last time they heard Romi. After that, people knows Arab in Israel told them what they said, and they start to fight. You will take her. No, I will take the boy. I don't want to take her. I will take the Arabs negotiation between themselves. Who take who? And they say, check if she is alive, or check if that. And then they took her, and the phone is there.
And what was the last they heard about Romi?
Okay, after 49 days, actually, start.
The prisoner exchange.
Yes, the prisoner exchange.
Well,
it's
that's not prisoner.
Exchange. That's right.
The kidnapped
came back, and Israel bring them food and everything they need. And in the 52 days after, become a family, and girls who was there kidnapped too, and they say, we've been with Romi. And her sister, Yarden, always talk about it and say something that they told her. And this is Romi. They said, one of the terrorists called her and talked to her in Arab. And she said, yes, yes. And she used to say for people that she likes, Chaimi. Chaimi, it's my life. For her, that's an
expression.
Expression, yes. And she said, yes, Chaimi, to this Arab. And he with guns and talk and tell them. And then he stopped, and she came back, and they said, what did he say? She said, I don't know Arab. So what did he say? Oh, I don't know. He wants to talk to me. He will talk to me. That's Romi, even there, even in this situation that we can't even imagine.
And everyone was laughing. She brought laughing. Joy.
That's it. That she brings the joy everywhere she is. In her family, they call her, since she was a little girl, they call her the sunshine of the family. They said, see, she's the sunshine. She brings all the joy. She's laughing all the time. She's smiling all the time. This is Romi.
Wow. Since that early time in the process, have they heard anything about Romi?
No, just when after 52 days, those return and talk about her.
And another question, you told me when we discussed this before, tell us about the army. They have a representative, each family. That was a new piece of information. Each family has someone to communicate with.
Yeah, in Israel, the army has an officer for each family who is the connect with the family. So the family said, we are not the family I know. Alon's family and Romi's family, they say we are not looking at the TV because they are talking, and you don't know if it's right, if it's wrong, if it's
speculation.
That's it.
Yeah.
So they close the turn off the TV, turn off the everything, and they are not talking. But they have this officer, each family, and if there's something, he tells them. So about Romi, we know only from the 52 days, after 52 days. Since there, and we are more than 400 days after that, they know nothing about her. What we know, as I told you, she was shooting.
She was shot in the arm.
She was shot in the arm. Mm-hmm. The bullet get inside and get out from here. And those girls said she was bandaged. A bandage, okay. Yeah, with old bandage. They gave her their old bandage, and it expired.
Yeah.
And she put it. And when they returned into 52 days, her hand became blue. So if you know or doesn't know like me, I don't know anything in medical, we know it's not good. So now 400 days after, more than 400 days after, I wish they take care of her and the hand is okay because, right. But I don't know. I believe she is okay. I believe she's alive. She will return alive and she will continue to smile. That I believe.
Amen. Tell us about the tiger. The tiger pen. This is something special.
Yeah,
and
this is a tiger
coming
special.
in for a landing.
Yeah, this is a special pen for, when it started, the 7 October, so we said the yellow it's the symbol of the color, and they prepared those biscuits that is written, "We our heart is in Gaza with you," and this for everyone for you give now. I put 2 because we are in the 2nd year, so I wish this is the end. I won't put the 3rd. I want to take it out. And so, but the family of Romi did this pin, which is tiger pin, and they have, Romi used to put a hat, put a thing, a clothes with tiger print, patterns. And they say, you know what, for everybody remember Romi, every Wednesday, wear something with tiger. So put a dress, put a sweatshirt, put a glass. I did my glass this year, so I did it with the frame, a tiger frame. Whatever you want with tiger. And remember, Romi, every Wednesday, take a picture of it, send it in the web, so that continue.
And we have pins for everyone here, and we're going to have them at the center.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
really,
and the money of those pins we buy this with $1.50, something around $1.50, and this money going to the Kupa.
the effort to help. The effort to help.
Yeah, they help the
hostages.
family, and they do things for the hostages come back.
Yeah, so the pins are on Project 613 for everyone. It's the least we can do. And okay, so this is so special that we have two young Jews. And we're in a room here, people at home can't see, of amazing young Jews who come here, and I can't imagine, this room is filled with people the same age. Mm-hmm. And it's so powerful that the Jewish people are really one. This last week, I am a rabbi, so I have to say something, we both teach the Tanakh, Torah. This last week's Torah portion, when we had Yehuda, was sent down, and he told Yaakov's like, I'm going to lose Benjamin, Binyamin, and I'm going to lose Yosef. And Yehuda stepped up, and we're named after Yehuda. Yehudim. We're Judah. We're Jews. It's from Yehuda. And one of the reasons why we're named after Judah over all the other Shvatim, all the other tribes, is because of this. He stepped up and he says, Ani Arev. Mm-hmm. I'm taking responsibility for Binyamin. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take responsibility. And that's what it means to be Jewish. And we wear that pin of being Jews. And what a beautiful thing, Sarit, what you've done.
Thank you.
Is when you're coming here and you're taking responsibility and you're sharing the message of these young Jews and the responsibility of everyone here. I mean, you guys, you know what else you could be doing right now. And you're here.
And
this is the best of what it means to be Jewish. Yeah.
I want to say something about Jews. Yes, we are Arabim to each other and take a responsible, but here in Israel we have also the Druze, and we are like our brothers, and they are fighting with us, they are died with us, and we have to remember that. Yes. And in the 100 kidnapped now in Gaza, there's also non-Jews who took from Israel because they came to do something good for the Jews, for the Israelis, for in Israel. So don't forget them also. But yes, we have a special
people, a nation,
nation, a special people, and we have to keep it. And to keep it as a special, we have to do everything to bring all the 100 hostages or kidnapped to Israel back to their home, to their family. Otherwise,
Sarit, you were thinking. We talked in advance because I wanted to know a little bit of the story, and the tiger pin. I was thinking and you said before tefillah. I said maybe on the Wednesday when we put the tiger pin on, Tehillim is how we say Psalms. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you, in our Beit Knesset, in our synagogues, 3 times a day, even on Shabbat. Usually on Shabbat, the Jewish law, you don't say Tehillim for an emergency situation necessarily. But since October 7th, every Orthodox synagogue that I have been in, I've been in a lot, they always say Tehillim, a psalm, sometimes many, after the prayer service, specifically for those kidnapped, for the Israeli soldiers. There's special prayers for the Israeli soldiers and everyone. And wouldn't it be nice, the tiger and Tehillim? Okay, we recognize that we do our human effort, but as we know also, it's a teamwork between Kadosh Baruch Hu and our efforts. And I think we all feel incredibly blessed to have both of you here, the whole Shahar family. So thank you very much for being here. Sarit, Karni, Ilan, Jill, the whole Shahar family, thank you. One more round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you all, and thank you, Rabbi, for allowing me to do it.
It's fair. Our honor.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.